this is going to be a short video, but I think I understand what European fans feel like when they say they're getting outpriced out of football matches. And I understand that on a deeper level now. With the 2026 World Cup not being too far away, and with Canada, the country that I live in, luckily, being one of the hosts for the World Cup, it was my dream, or also my friends' dreams who love football, to maybe go watch this World Cup, to go see your country play. And, after following them in their first World Cup in such a long time, and we didn't make it out the group, but we almost beat Belgium, guys. Like, come on now, this was a big deal, These aren't muscles, but it's a big deal. We almost beat Belgium, It would be something it would have been something great to see as somebody who watches TFC week in, week out, just to see them lose, and then go do those street interviews and not see myself on Instagram. And then go see Canada play, and then just be happy that I'm finally seeing some good quality football rather than TFC. To not be able to see the country that I've been following for the longest time on the world's biggest stage is a real punch in the stomach, and I probably won't be able to see him, and that's the real reality of the situation. And it's really sad because I love the game. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I've always loved to watch it and everything. It's been such a big part of my life, and it wasn't even something I wanted to play. It was my mom that got me into playing football. But when I did start to play it, I just fell in love with it. I just didn't stop. And that's how a lot of people relate to the game. You start it, you pick it up, and then you just don't stop. And next thing you know, you're 16 playing semi-professional football, and you're playing with a bunch of grown men, and then you're like, how did this happen? So then you obviously follow the game and became an Arsenal fan, but my country was never good. That's why I followed European football so heavily. But we started to get better. It was Davies, and it was David, and things were just like picking up out of nowhere. It happened so quickly. It's like we hit 1 million subscribers overnight. Canada football, they were happening, and players were being like, I'm Canadian, but I'm playing in Europe, but I'm Canadian now. Things were happening fast. And before that, we were in the World Cup, and it was an exciting time. And I know I'm rambling a bit away from the subject here, but I'm just trying to get the point across that this team is such a meaningful thing to me, and a meaningful thing to so many Canadians, that it's just kind of sad that the average fan won't be able to watch the World Cup this year. And I'm not going to get into the whole lottery system, all of that, yada, yada, yada. I get it. FIFA, you have to do your best way to make sure everybody has an equal chance at getting tickets. How it is with very competitive universities here. Like, some of them, it gets to a point where no matter how good your grades are, it's just a lottery system, and it sucks sometimes. But seeing the prices come out and everything I think that's the most disheartening thing. And yes, I could drop 2K whatever to go see it, but I have other things I want to do. I'm gonna go to Japan this summer. I'm gonna go to Amsterdam. I'm gonna go watch Ajax and FC Tokyo play, and all of that is still gonna be cheaper than me going to go watch Canada play at BMO Field, when I just went to go watch a match with a value of players more than 200 million combined at BMO Field for like $50. And I was pretty upfront there. I was literally right behind the net, like close to the support section. This wasn't like in the stands or anything on the 200th level. No, I was field level. I could see Caicedo, I could see Incapia, I could see David, I could see Kendry Paz, I could see all these players that I would have never thought I would have seen at BMO Field, literally eye level. And you're telling me those same tickets that I'm seeing now, that I went to go see Canada play Ecuador, which will probably be a higher quality game than whoever Canada plays coming out of this playoff draw round thing. is, I don't even want to know the multiplier, but like more than 20 times more expensive than that ticket that I just paid there. Like, you're telling me like 20, like 10 to 20K for that same seat. It's not like BMO Field, they added massage chairs, I get unlimited food or anything like that. You know, they're flying me out from my house where I live. No, 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 none of that is happening. I'm just going to sit and watch a game in the sun at BMO Field. Nothing is covering me or anything. Nobody's giving me a massage while I'm watching. It's the same seats, just different pricings. And I guess that's when it comes to a brand, World Cup brand. It's the World Cup. It's the international stage, the biggest tournament in the world, most viewed tournament in the world. But it has to get to a point, man. Like, if we just look at the ticket differences prices from the World Cup in Qatar compared to the World Cup in North America, holy, what a difference. And I understand there's not as many people living in Qatar than compared to Canada or the US, but Canada's not that big of a country population wise either. I can name, there's so many countries around the world with a bigger population in Canada. There's so many other places in the world with a bigger population than just like the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, or the Greater Vancouver area. So many cities and places that have a bigger population than those areas. And I understand it's the whole country and, like, you know, maybe neighboring cities in the US that want to go see these games, but it's like, it gets to a point, like, why are we selling tickets for $1,000 or $2,000 for a category 3 tickets? Like, I understand 200, 500, maybe 1,000, reasonable, but these are the same tickets you're gonna go see, same seats you're seeing TFC play for like $50, or Canada pay for $50 to $100, you know? And the sad reality is, as this international, one last international break we get, or whatever the next international break is, before the World Cup, and Canada plays some better quality opposition just to get prepared, those tickets are gonna be way cheaper than any of these World Cup tickets in. The real reality is you'll probably see Canada play some better opposition than they're gonna play in the tournament, unless they make a very, very deep run, which I hope it happens, man. I'm an optimistic type of dude, but it's just, again, back to the World Cup ticket prices. Just like, it gets to a point in the pricing where you're literally just, it's a price discrimination at this point, you know? You're not even looking to try to get like people who would actually can afford these tickets, or it's like you're pricing out a certain type of group, you know? And I can go over here and say like, hey, I'm broke, that's why I can't afford the tickets, and make a YouTube video. No, yes, like, I'm a student, I have student loans to pay off like everybody else does, you know? But even if I had $1 million in the bank right now, tomorrow, I mean, I don't have it yet, you know? But let's say I had $1 million in the bank, right? I'm still looking at those ticket prices and I'm going, guys, that's a pretty big jump from the last World Cup that I went to. Like, what's going on here? Like, it's not really adding up. Like, when did we go from this to this? Like, what's going on here? Like, and I'm pretty sure that BMO Field Stadium hasn't really changed that much, you know? Like, I understand those Qatar stadiums were new, and I don't want to get into who built those, but understand those stadiums were new and made for the tournament and everything. But these stadiums, BMO Field, BC Place, yeah, they haven't really been touched since the World Cup or any of this really started. So like, what's going on here? Am I getting like a goodie bag with some gold in it? Is everybody getting like Messi's, every single cleat that Messi's worn? Is everybody getting like a pair of his cleats that go to the game, or Ronaldo, you know? Is everybody getting a real jersey? Is there something I'm missing out here? Because I really don't get why the tickets are so expensive, and it just really doesn't add up. And it's sad because I'm realizing the reality of this tournament. I still think it's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing tournament. I'm happy it's coming to North America. It's just, I see the reality of the pricing and why, again, back to why European fans have been complaining about, hey, pricing is kind of getting out of control right now, and it's kind of seeming like football isn't for the fans that watch it and the people that watch it. It's appealing to a certain type of group of people, you know? Or in some cases, some fans will find a way to get tickets, and if they do, good on you. Genuinely, congratulations. I hope you have the time of your life. World Cup is a great, great tournament. Genuinely, once in a lifetime experience. Just please enjoy the game. Genuinely, enjoy that 90 minutes of football, because those live games, they go by so quickly, quicker than they go by on TV. But anyways, it just feels like the pricing, you're saying, hey, what you're basically saying is whoever can pay for these type of tickets, they're gonna get them, you know, no question about it. But for a lot of people, they would see these tickets, the average person, and be like, all right guys, like, I know I've been saving up a bit of money, but like, let's look at this realistically. I'm paying $2,000 for this ticket here, $3,000. What else could I do with this money? Like, send myself somewhere nice. Like, I'm going to Japan for 3 weeks, guys. It's gonna be around that price. 3 weeks in Japan. I'm gonna go see FC Tokyo play, and it's around that same price. And then for me, I just go to BMO Field, watch a game in the World Cup. I get it. It's the World Cup. I get it. It's a big deal. But I'm literally just taking the GO train and I'm going to BMO Field, and that's it. And then I'm coming back home at the end of the day for $2,000. But I do that anyways whenever I go to see TFC play. I go see the men's teams play, you know? It just doesn't make any sense. And so I feel like it's very, like, yeah, discriminatory in the pricing, because it's kind of like, I don't want to get into the whole rent situation in Toronto, because it's a whole other story. But there's only a percentage of people that can pay for those tickets and not get affected by it. And when it comes to these big international tournaments, yes, on a country scale, you're like, whoa, like, who can afford these? But when you really look at the big global scale, there are people that can afford those and not even think about it and be like, all right guys, let's book our plane tickets, let's get a hotel, we're going to the World Cup. It's a very real reality that people live, and lucky, good for them, you know. They've probably worked hard or whatever happened to have those means to be able to do things. So I'm not shaming that group of people. I'm just saying, like, this is being preached as like the world's tournament, like football's the world's game, but not the world is really getting to see the tournament, you know? A certain group of people in the world is saying, it's not a certain race or anything, but it's a certain level of resources that are going to see that game, you know? So it's like, what are we talking, what is the sport really representing at this point? And I know FIFA, I know what they do, and like the whole money grab situation, but it's like, at the start, man, it's like, this isn't what the game is about. This game has literally brought in so many, like, literal, like, kids or like peoples and families out of poverty. And I'm not even talking about the Messis or anything. I'm talking about the average professional footballer. They get to live a pretty decent life, not going to lie, you know? You don't have to make it in the big leagues, but you can have a pretty decent living if you make it professional in a lot of more leagues than you think, you know? And the fact that we're now taking away the opportunity from people and, like, you know, working class people, lower class people, to watch this tournament, you know, live, when it's like a once a lifetime opportunity, is really devious. I really do think it is. It's a whole another level of devious. And it's just like, I think the Qatar ticket prices were reasonable, and I understand why it would be those prices, but the Canada and the US ones and the Mexico, it's just, where are we getting these at this point? Like, I understand if we had everything under control, you know, we're valeting people, we're doing all these extra things that's never been done in the World Cup, but we're not. Like, we're still trying to figure out things at BMO Field here. We didn't get a brand new BMO Field that we just pooped down. It's got this new cover and everything, and there's a bunch of seats now, and I can like go relax at my team. No, it's still the same field. So it's just like, why did we make the tickets more expensive? You know, like it doesn't add up. And yes, you can say supply and demand, Jared, supply and demand, supply and demand, supply and demand. No, not supply and demand, because these were the prices set. Those were the prices set. And it doesn't really make any sense. And I understand whatever happens in the second market happens in the second market. You know, that's just how it is. You know, that's the same thing with concert tickets. I wanted to go see SD Kid. The tickets sold out in a nanosecond, and now they're $600. Like, oh well, nothing I can do about that. But when you're setting the tickets up like that, it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not gonna. One thing I did like though, that I wish FIFA did more. So 2 summers ago, I was in Australia, and while I was in Australia, there was the Women's World Cup. And yes, I understand the women's game, whatever demand or how many people watch it isn't big, whatever. But it's still great football, and it's a great tournament. It's the World Cup. It's that brand of FIFA, right? And the women's, they're really, really good at playing football. Like, they'd smoke me if I played some of the women's players. And I'm being completely honest with you guys. Yes, they would smoke me because I know a girl that plays for Canada on that team, and she literally ran circles around me. So yes, I would get smoked, and any of us would get smoked. So it's really good football. And I went to go watch the game in Australia, and I was again pitch side watching Canada play Nigeria. And I understand it's not the home team game, but even Canada against Australia, which I wanted to see originally, that was like 20 Australian dollars, 13 Australian dollars Canadian for the Canada versus Nigeria game, which ended up being like 11 Canadian dollars. It was great. I was sat there by the sidelines. I had this, I actually didn't have the beer, but I shared the beer. It was like this Corona, and I had these chips. They call it chips, but it's fries. Chips, and it was there. It was great. I was at Amy Park. It was sunny. It was beautiful. Lovely stadium, by the way, which I think is way nicer than BMO Field. I was like, wow, this is a nice stadium. So shout out Melbourne City FC, because I have a very nice stadium. And I'm there at Amy Park, and I'm enjoying the game, and it's great. I think that's how it should be, People should be able, anybody should be able to go see a World Cup game if they really, really wanted to, But with these prices, it seemed if somebody even really, really wanted to go see a World Cup game, it would still be hard, because you first have the lottery ticket system, and then it's like, I don't even know what the prices of tickets are going to be. And so you're thinking, oh, maybe 500, 1,000. And then you're looking, oh, 2,000 now. But I still have a mortgage rate to pay off, and still got groceries that are expensive here. And a house in Canada is not cheap, guys. It's like $1 million here, at least in the greater Toronto area, It's not cheap, so I bet you those mortgages aren't cheap either, So things are adding up, but it's like, but somebody with money, right, is seeing this, and it's like, all right, guys, let's just go, And not to blame those people. I'm mad at FIFA here, because this is some clear price discrimination going on, It's not even like, it's not even being hidden at this point, guys. It's not even being hidden. And I just don't think the reality of it hit me, because I've been lucky enough to go to TFC games and to go watch Canada soccer games for like $50 a match, and get really good seats where I'm like behind the net and stuff, and it's great. And I bring my camera and make the videos, it's great, and I've been really lucky to be able to experience that. But I'm starting to realize that maybe for other people around the world, aren't as lucky as I am. And so I guess there's kind of two messages in this video. Is that, first of all, FIFA, there's got to be a talk like this. These prices, it's like, it's not even being hidden at this point. Like, I get it, supply and demand, supply and demand, supply and demand. But if you're gonna supply and demand it, at least let it get sold out. And then, oh well, I guess we didn't get some extra revenue that we were supposed to get this year. Oh well, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, we're not one of the biggest organizations in the world, and we don't control one of the biggest sports in the world. Oh, boo-hoo, poor us, poor FIFA, we're so poor. Like, and the other point is, for any of my Canadian soccer fans, is really, yes, TFC sucks. Fuck, can't believe I said okay. Yes, it was a bad season last season. They're not a bad club, but yes, TFC has been bad last season. It was abysmal. But or yes, like our Canada games, like we don't get too many Canadian fans to watch, but I hope people with now seeing these World Cup prices really appreciate getting to watch the national team or getting to watch TFC play, because those $50 tickets that you paid for are now going for 2,000 plus. And if you're sitting on the first floor in BMO Field, oh, 10,000 plus for sure. So you just made literally one of the best investments in your life by going to a TFC game or going to a Canadian men's national team game this year, because hey, after the World Cup, we don't know what's going to happen with the prices. We don't know if TFC, or if we don't know if the Canadian men's national team is going to be like, hey guys, like people went to BMO Field for this price, like I think we can start raising the prices a bit more. More money wouldn't hurt, So yeah, please, if you are watching a TFC game this year before the World Cup, or watching Canada play this year before the World Cup, if they're doing any more friendlies to just get prepared for it, appreciate it, because just know the spot that you're sitting in is probably going to be going for more than like 50 times what you paid for it in the World Cup this summer, which is absolutely crazy. But hey, I guess that's how it is sometimes. And I would like to end off this video as how sometimes my economics professor would talk about economics is, yes, economics is great, but it's a social science, so there's no set rules for anything. And same thing with these ticket prices. Yes, football is great. Pricing and everything like that can be great. And games can be great, but stuff like this, there is literally no fundamental explanation behind why these tickets would be this expensive. So yeah, that's kind of it for today, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow, I guess.